Hello, this is the Provoked Prawn, and I make men's ovaries explode apparently, and in this video I'm going to be talking to you about three different microphones: the Shure SM7B, the Logitech Blue Sona, and the Rode NT1. Now these are three interesting microphones for completely different reasons, so I think it's worth talking about each of them individually, giving you a microphone test to show you the quality of the capture, and also talking about the various highlights and features of them, because they are quite a bit different, and yet they're equally awesome in their own little ways. And I actually feel like these three mics would probably be my top recommendations for the best mics that you could buy that I have tested, in terms of being XLR microphones that deliver the best capture quality, but also other important things like excellent noise elimination. So quiet, capable, and great sounding. And as you can see, I'm using the Blue Sona now, and that is immediately obvious because it isn't on a boom arm. And this is one of the things that I'd always tell you to do, is to get your mic on a boom arm to get it sounding good. But the fact that I'm holding it in my hand shows that you don't need to do that with this microphone. And that speaks to the quality, because it has an integral shock mount system in it, but it's also designed really intelligently with this dual capsule setup. It's basically designed to pick up your voice with a Supercardioid pickup pattern and eliminate the surrounding noise, so you can't hear things like fans on my computer, for example. It also has a design that obviously will work on a boom arm, and I've shown that separately in the full review. And this cover is also removable and swappable, so you can change it. It has a black one included in the box, so you can go for this sort of crazy red aesthetic, or you can have a black one, or you can have a black mic. So you have the options there. It also has a bass roll-off and other settings and things, and I'll leave the specs in the description, as well as a link to the original video so you can find out more about it. But what you can hear is great quality. Now if I switch over, and now you're hearing the Shure SM7B. Now the Shure SM7B has been my mainstay microphone for a long time. If you've watched any of my videos, you will have heard this, most likely, unless I was doing a mic review. I would have been using this microphone to capture the quality of it, and that's because this is a really rich sounding microphone. Now both of those are dynamic microphones. The Blue Sona is a dynamic microphone, and this is a dynamic microphone. The Shure SM7B is renowned for requiring quite a bit of power in order to get it working nicely, to get it to play nicely. A lot of people will tell you need a cloud lift or some sort of booster. You don't, in my experience, so those people are wrong. I actually use this with multiple different devices. Go XLR, Razer audio mixer. I'm using it now with the Rodecaster Pro 2, and I have all three mics plugged into that. But the point of this is this sounds great. This has a really broadcast quality sound to it. You do need to get it close to your mouth. If I do boost the gain up, then it would sound okay. But you can see that I can pull it around and manipulate it pretty well without any problems. And I've had this for quite some time now as well, and it's a nice, sturdy, great sounding microphone. It's not as good looking, admittedly. It's kind of black and boring looking, but it's immediately identifiable because of what it is. It is also probably the most expensive out of all three of these microphones, so it's worth bearing that in mind. Then it's also worth checking out the links in the description to find out how much it currently is, because it regularly goes on sale. Sometimes you can get it cheaper, but it is interesting in its own right. And the other mic that's really interesting is this one over here. So this is the Rode NT1. Now this is the 5th generation of the Rode NT1. And this is a condenser microphone, so it has a slightly different setup. It has a cardioid pickup pattern in the capsule. So you'll notice where with the other two microphones I was talking into the top, this one you have to sort of talk sideways into it. But the other things that you will notice is that it has a pop filter as standard. It also has a shock mount included with it, and it also comes with an XLR cable. All of those things come with a package that is really affordable. And as you can hear, it's a fantastic sounding microphone. This mic is also really feature rich for the money, and I think it's potentially the most interesting of the three for that aspect alone, because it has a lot of different things going on. So you can see it's obviously XLR cable. As I said, it's in the Rodecaster Pro 2, and it is delivering great quality sound. the thing that I said in the review of this is really easy to set up as well on that device and on others. It'll work with the Razer Audio Mixer and the Go XLR Mini and other things really easily. You plug it in and basically you just need to set the gain level, and that's about it. I found that I didn't have to add in the noise gate settings. I didn't have to mess around with the compressor and that. It was much, much, much easier to set up than the Shure SM7B, which, believe me, takes a little bit of tweaking to get sounding right. Now, when you do get it sounding right, it does sound pretty bloody fantastic, but this one sounds pretty bloody fantastic as well. So this one is a lot more user-friendly. If you're a beginner and you want a mic that's accessible, then the NT1 is probably it. Now, I will say that Blue Sona has a similar logic to it, because this too has an XLR connection, plugs into one of those devices, and then it's also fairly good because of the dual capsule design. It eliminates a lot of background noise as standard, and you could hear it's really rich sounding. So it too requires very minimal fuss, but as you'll see, this is what you get out of the box. Just the mic and nothing else. And that's really all you need. But here you get a whole sort of mini setup which looks like a professional podcasting setup or like a musician setup. So a really powerful bit of kit here. Now add to that this also works with USB-C connections. So you can plug in a USB-C cable instead of the XLR cable. And I demonstrated this in the review video. So where the XLR cable plugs in, there's a USB-C connection in there. You run a USB-C connection from the mic into your PC, and then you download Rode software for it, and then you can capture audio using that. And that has some added benefits because it uses digital signal processing and some onboard technology, which basically means you won't clip. So you can be really loud all of a sudden and it won't affect it. And it also has a good low noise level, so you can really whisper into it and it won't be a problem. And it'll still do a good job of picking it up. So what I found is not only does it eliminate a lot of background noise really easily, it's also really easy to set up. And if you use a USB-C connection, you've got that plug and play setup. So this one is actually the most user-friendly straight out of the box, because you can buy the mic and not worry about the XLR side of it, so not have an interface, just use it in USB-C connection, still get great sound, and then maybe later on you go to upgrade. You can't do that with these other two, so if you buy the Shure or the Blue Sona, you have to have a mixer in order to use them. You obviously also have to have a boom arm with any of these, but as a minimum, you also need that mixer. You also need an XLR cable, which generally isn't included. So the Shure won't have the XLR cable, Blue won't have the XLR cable, but the Rode does. So this is a great package for the money. I do think it's a bit imposing. There's a lot going on here, obviously, whereas the Shure SM7B isn't. And obviously, Blue Sona has the advantage of being pretty snazzy looking. It has like this adjustable yoke system on it. It's pretty nifty looking. Good quality, and obviously nice mounting system. If you put that on a boom arm like this, you can imagine that looks nice on a stream as well. It's really eye-catching. So if you want sort of aesthetic appeal, then you have it. But you can see each of these has its own benefits. The Shure is a really rich sounding quality mic, and I think I'll probably still be using this as my mainstay, but I would definitely consider using the NT1. And I have used the Blue Sona for various videos as well. You probably would have seen it. The convenience of being able to take this out, just grab it without even worrying about a boom arm is nuts. So it's really good quality. So once again, I'm just going to go back in and give you another test. So if I turn all three mics on, so now they're all running and they're all recording at the same time. So you can hear the Rode NT1 here, and then the Blue Sona and the capture quality of that, and then the Shure SM7B. And this is the nicest sounding one in my opinion, but as you'll see, they all sound pretty fantastic. And obviously you can go into the sound settings and you can adjust these. So we could set a much more broadcast quality sound on it. If you want to hear each of them individually, then be sure to check out the videos on them, but you will hear a really rich sound. Now, I have been told previously that I can make any mic sound good, and that is unfortunate, I suppose, because that might lead to some problems with people trying to work out which one's best. But if you go based on just features and the fact that I'll tell you that I've seen a lot of mics, if you go check out the playlist linked in the description to see all my mic videos, you'll see just how many I've seen. And out of all the XLR mics that I've tested, these three are now the most interesting and feature rich. Best sounding, convenience, and really accessible and user friendly. This has been the Provoked Prawn. Thanks for watching. You've made it right to the end of the video, you brilliant legend you. If you've enjoyed it, click that subscribe button, give me a thumbs up, and drop me a comment down below if you've got any questions. If you really enjoyed it, consider joining the channel and see the benefits of doing so. Check out these other videos. You might well find them interesting or useful. And most importantly, have a great life.